Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Jiana, and special thank you to Sphere Rocket VA for making yet another episode possible. And today we are getting to know all about Bryon. Bryon, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me, Jiana.
Of course. So let's get to going then. Where are you from? What market are you in now? And how did you find yourself in real estate?
Well, I'm originally from Prince Edward Island, the far east coast of Canada. I'm living in Calgary, Alberta, which is next door to the Canadian Rockies. And this is where I've lived since 2003. How did I find myself in real estate? Well, I was watching after an Ironman race in November of 2001. Shortly after, you remember what happened September 11th, 2001. I was at Ironman race in Florida, in Panorama, Florida, and I had gone to that race. I planned to go to that race with a friend, and the friend ended up bailing because his wife was pregnant, and she said, "You're not flying. The planes might come down." You remember? Oh, you're probably too young to remember. Not 2001, September 11th. But and anyway, so I was there alone. I did the race, and I was watching. I couldn't sleep. Was watching late night television, and I saw an infomercial on how to make money in real estate investing.
Yeah.
And so I bought the binder, the book, for $599, guaranteed money back guarantee, and it arrived, and I started going through it, and I thought, I like this real estate idea. And so I started with the investment mentality and then sort of transitioned to become a realtor. Not such a great idea, maybe, but that's the story.
Okay, interesting. Found yourself in Florida. It all started with an infomercial, which is definitely interesting. That's a story introducing you to real estate that I haven't heard yet. So, you started out on the investing side, then you got into real estate. So how did EXP present itself to you? Was it your first brokerage? How did you make that switch?
I started in real estate actually on the East Coast of Prince Edward Island with Century 21 in 2002, I guess, January. And then I ended up moving to Calgary, the west side of Canada, for your listeners who aren't aware where we are, for the economy, for the Alberta advantage that really existed at that time, and the schools for my children. And so then when I arrived here, I worked for Keller Williams, which is a big brokerage in the US, not so big in Alberta, Canada. And then I did a few years with Keller Williams, and then eventually landed with Remax. I was with Remax for 15 years before joining EXP almost exactly, well, I guess 13 months ago. And so no, EXP was not my first brokerage, but it's been the best to date.
Yeah. So what drew you to EXP? Was it the model? Was it the revenue share? How did you decide this will be the jump for me?
So I've been selling real estate for 20 years, and the model. So I came for the model, the EXP model. I mean, it's a great platform just for real estate sales. If you just want to focus on real estate sales, it seems to be, in my opinion, at this point, the very best model out there for just being a real estate agent and sales. However, I joined primarily for the revenue share. I'm looking to transition out of production, and I want to support other agents that are maybe newer in the business or want to basically looking for a way out of production, and so EXP allows that.
Absolutely. So you saw the revenue share, you're like, this is a great model. I'm here, I can be a mentor, I can be a coach, and then I can make a living off of revenue share alone. I do not have to sell houses. Same way in people that if they come over, they do not have to recruit. There's so many amenities about EXP that you can choose your path and, love what you do. So what about EXP, Bryon, makes you say, I never want to leave this place?
I would say that it's just the support of the organization, the openness, the free sharing. I mean, it's like a model that doesn't exist. It's like everyone is very, very supportive of each other. And I mean, I heard that in Remax, I heard it in Keller Williams, but like it actually, family, EXP really my senior partners have invested interest in me doing well in this model. They want to help me as much as they possibly can so that I'm successful in whatever goals I have, whether that be production or recruitment, income. My senior partners are invested in me and they want me successful. Just like anyone I bring into the organization, I want them to be successful. So I'm going to do everything I can to ensure their success by, sharing everything I know. So yeah, that's what's really special about the model.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bryon, you seem very busy. You're mentoring, you're recruiting, you're an icon agent, so you've got very high production. So how do you take care of Bryon? How do you make sure that you're not experiencing burnout mode, or you've got a nice work-life balance going?
I've always been very scheduled. So meaning like very scheduled. So for me, what's been mostly important over the many years has been the morning schedule. So, I tend to be, for the most part in the last 15 years, I'm up at least probably 70% of the time by 4:45. And so I have my time and reflective time early in the morning, and then often I will have my exercise done by probably by 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. And then I'm in my office generally before 8 a.m. doing paperwork, any kind of administrative task that I might have to do, and hopefully not that much administrative tasks because I have a full-time assistant. And then I will do strong lead follow-up from 8 till 9, and then from 9 till 11, I'm more about prospecting and touching base with clients and friends and Spear. And then my afternoon is kind of controlled chaos, where I whatever appointments I've set from the morning routine are taken care of. So I actually find it not too bad to schedule stuff. And then of course I have quite a bit of help. I have a small team, and everyone does what they love to do and what they're good at.
That's great, and it's good to have, the saying I've heard is the right butts in the right chairs, right? You don't want to wake up and be miserable in what you do. So to have people that are good at what they do, they enjoy what they do, and in the right seats in your business, it really speaks a lot for itself, and it shows production wise that it's well worth it. So Bryon, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Bryon,
good.
So you are an icon agent, right? And I would love to see the icon award through your eyes. So, what kind of production did you have to do in your market to get there? And, what benefits did you enjoy most of the icon award? And most importantly, how did you contribute back to the EXP culture as an icon award winner?
So I've been with EXP for just a year. I've got my icon sort of status. I always thought I was I have to get it. So it was just given that I was going to get it based on my production, like in the last sort of 10, 15 years. And I think in terms of production, like roughly it's about 30 deals, 30 ends in Calgary. And typically I do more like 70, usually sort of 70 to 95 a year. And so I actually haven't fulfilled so getting icon status is awesome. You get all your fees that you've paid back in stock, which is sweet.
So sweet.
and then to sort of get all the icon benefits. You of course, as far as I know, again, I've been fairly new in the organization. You have to do some education. You have to attend the 2 summits, the icon, the two big workshops that are held each year, usually October and June. And so I've attended so far just the October. What is it called? You know what it's called?
EXPCon?
EXPCon, and loved it. It's an awesome conference in Las Vegas. And then there's the Summit Shareholder event that will happen in June, which I plan to attend. And it's time for me to figure out what I'm going to do to sort of give back. I need to look into that. I've been a little bit negligent to figure out, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's just like, I got to figure that out. What is it? What kind of, do you know, what are my options in terms of giving back to ensure I get all the benefits of the Icon Award?
I do, yeah. So one of them is that you can be a mentor, which is great. You know, that seems to be like what you are kind of interested in doing anyway, in recruiting new agents. And you know, you can pick a few of them that you guys really align as far as like goals and work ethic, and kind of coach them and teach them the ways of real estate. You can also teach lessons. I believe it's 6 1-hour lessons in EXP world. And, you know, whether that's focusing on, some people do, hey, how to focus your branding on luxury markets, how to pick up and move and rebrand yourself as a real estate agent in a different market, or you know, there's anything that you feel like has brought value to your business. You know, you could even do it outsourcing with, you know, has an assistant that you hired down the street been helpful? Has an assistant that's a VA from the Philippines been helpful? How's it been helpful to you? What mistakes did you make with it? Just different lessons, and just kind of learning from the best of the best in the EXP world. There's a lot of options that you can pursue with that.
I am going to figure that out this afternoon.
Sounds good, Bryon. And when you
Thank
do,
you.
if you want to do a teaser and a spin-off podcast with me, you let me know, and I would be happy to have you back on.
Well, I would love to. I'll definitely be in touch on that.
Yeah, definitely hit me up when that comes back around and you've got that all planned out. And now, Bryon, you know, you've been in real estate for a while. You said, you know, I've got an icon. I have the production. Why wouldn't I icon? But for somebody that's new to EXP and maybe even new to the real estate world, you know, is iconing in their first year here possible? What are some short-term goals they should just set out for that? And just some advice for the newbies watching.
Sure. So I'm a long time. I've always had a coach in real estate, and the coach that I selected for many years was Mike Ferry. So very known, very well known coach in the industry.
Yeah.
And Mike. So these aren't my words, but Mike's words. Where any full time agent, I mean, should be able to sell like 24 homes in a first year of business. That's just being a full time agent doing the right activities. And so my that's kind of my mantra as well, is I believe that if you want to be, have that kind of production, it's just given that you will do that. So it's just a matter of having, like, understanding how to do it. And so how do you get to there? Well, I suppose, through coaching, mentorship, aligning yourself with others. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, no,
I really feel with the right mentorship and coaching, everyone who's in real estate as a full-time agent should be doing that production. I mean, again, markets are different and price points are different, but certainly with our average price point of around $50,000 right now, any Calgary agent that's in the business full-time, their goal should be icon status. And that'd be, slightly ambitious, because we really need to do about 30 deals to be icon. And certainly I believe that 2 deals a month, so 24 a year, is entirely realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made a good point. You should be getting coaching, and you should be leaning into the mentors that you have. And then those goals that you set out with them, those small goals, those weekly, what you're held accountable for, as long as you're hitting those, you have all the potential to icon, as long as you're putting your head down and putting the work into it. 100%. So yes, you did answer my question. That was great.
Good.
And my next question would be, for somebody that's sitting on the fence about EXP, which I'm sure, at some point in your career, you were on this fence as well. You were on the outside looking in. You saw that the grass looked greener, but you were a little nervous to make the jump. There's, rumors in the industry that EXP is a cult. They're a pyramid scheme, blah, 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 blah. Don't drink the EXP Kool-Aid. So what would you have to say to somebody sitting on that fence with a little bit of skepticism?
Well, so I was a good friend of mine approached me as soon as she joined. She saw the light and moved to EXP, and probably, I think it was November of maybe 2018, or maybe it was 2019. And so she talked to me immediately about it. I was one of her first calls, And it took me 2-3 years to make the
Yeah.
move. At one point, I was a year prior, I was ready to make the move, but something chaotic happened in my business, between a seller and which sometimes can happen. And I spoke with
Of
my
course.
wife, and she's like, you don't need any more change right now. Let's just stay
Mhm.
the course. So I mean, when the time is right, well, first off, I think that you're silly not to look at the model. Um, but people are silly, and people think it's a cult, and they think that it's a multi-level marketing scheme, pyramid scheme. Yeah, you hear it all. But people owe it to themselves to look at the model to understand why so many people have moved to this model. And but people don't like change, so I kind of understand them not listening. But you should be open to change. You should be open to new ideas in this business. And so yeah, just I would say to someone who's sitting on the fence, you have to prove it to yourself that it's not right for you. But an only way to prove it to yourself that it's not right to you is to have a really, really close look at it.
Mhm.
And eventually you'll come.
Yeah, of course. Take that EXP agent up that's been trying to take you out to lunch. Check out some of our podcasts. Ask for some advice from an EXP agent because you'll be surprised to find that we don't really hold the secrets to our chest. We want you to come over. We want you to succeed and come check it out. And if you're scared of change, you got to learn something. And it's that the only thing that stays consistent in this life is change.
Mm-hmm.
And evolve or get left behind. That's pretty much it.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, Bryon, I think it's been a really great episode. Is there anything that you would like to leave the listeners with before we get wrapped up today?
Well, I'd like to leave them with something very intelligent and smart sounding. I may need more time to think about that. No, I mean, be open. If you're an agent, be open to the EXP model. It makes a lot of sense. If you're a new agent, it makes a lot of sense because your senior partner, whoever brings you into the organization, is going to want to see you successful. If you're a longtime agent, it makes a lot of sense because maybe EXP, the model, will help you transition out of the grind of production.
Yep.
While the grind of production is exciting and fun for some, and it does have a time limit. I think that it's great to be in real estate sales, like and you spend the first 10 years learning the business, maybe 5 years, before you reach a high production, and then maybe have 10 years of high production. And then, so I've been in business 20 years, and I'm not ready to get out of production only because I haven't had a model or a system, or haven't been paying attention to how to get out of production. And so, more recently, in the past year, since I've joined EXP, I'm trying to figure that out. And EXP has all the model, all the support to help me to get out of production by virtue of the model. So listen to it. It's for anyone, whether you're brand new in the career or a longtime veteran.
Absolutely. Bryon, so well said. Thank you so much for your time today and joining us on the Icon podcast. And be on the lookout for me at EXPCon and shareholders because I would love to get together and pick your brain a little more.
I can't wait to see you in person at shareholders in June.
Yes, it's going to be so fun. I'll see you then, Bryon. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.